70% of our graduates are unemployable. 70%. Our students go through so much learning and studying in school. Let's not even start with the financial requirements. The question now is, what exactly are they learning? Welcome to the Teesas podcast. My name is SuperMo and I'm your host for the day. With me right here is my guy, Ugo. Today we are asking, is Nigeria's education system failing us? Parents in Lagos, Abuja, students in Port Harcourt and Kano, stay glued because we won't just discuss this matter. We will also be preferring solutions too.
Okay. Now, so hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Later on this show, we will bring a seasoned human resource manager to tackle this matter with us. Are you serious? 70%? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, when I did my research, according to the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, I was amazed, I was flabbergasted when I saw that the data was saying 70% of our graduates are unemployable. And, it just got me thinking about so many things.
Wow, according to my findings here, I had to do my own research too. I found out, according to Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, I found out that it's actually 40% here. But either way, it's still very low. 70%, 40%, it's still very, very low. So what do you think the problem actually is? Is it that these students waste productive years of their lives in school?
I think that for our educational system, we need to put into consideration a lot of factors, right? We need to even understand what does it mean to say an educational system has failed. Let's move a bit away from the statistics. What is the labor market saying? What are the skills our graduates actually have? You know that when we are not really delivering up to par, we can tell ourselves, are graduates actually employable? Do they have the skills? I mean, everything we learn in school is basically theory. Can they deliver? We need to consider all of that. We need to know if the educational system is actually coming to a complete ruin or it is actually giving in to societal pressure. What do you think?
I believe there's a lot that can be done. When you said all we do in school is just theory, I just remembered something in secondary school here. I was a science student, and then doing chemistry, the only time we did actual practical was just titration, base and acid, and that was like the only time we did. The rest, we were just seeing so many funny formulas on the board, and that's an actual, should I call it a problem? But it's something we need to look into. Yeah, and let's use like a real life example. So like in an actual class here, we have a teacher with 60 students, different learning abilities. Some are fast learners, some are slow learners, some have probably hearing problems and all. And then the teacher will grade all of them the same way. I think it's a problem, because if every child is given or is attended to based on their needs, I think it can help a lot. What do you think?
I can actually relate to what you're saying, right? I attended a model school. It's a public school, but it's a model college. And, we had one of the best laboratories in my school. I was a science student, even though I didn't necessarily like sciences. And I know that, it's a public school, so you can understand we have so many students with, few teachers. And talking about doing all of these laboratory experiments, like you said, 60 students to one teacher, it's a lot, because we learn at different paces. Some people are slow learners, some people are fast learners. Most of us, before we understand what the blue acid litmus paper is talking about, some people are done performing the experiments, and then they will just grade everybody. And I think that I want to hear from the audience. I want to know what people think. Parents watching, tell us in the comment section, what do you feel about this? Do you think that the ratio of student to teacher is also affecting the standards of education, down from secondary to university level? Because if you attend a federal university, you can relate to having 90-something plus students in class to, minimal lecturers. So let's shake things up today. This is a topic I'm really, intrigued about. I'm excited to talk about. So today we would invite our guest for today. She's a mother. She's an amazing HR manager with years of experience, and I must say she understands the struggle of parenting, students, and in the Nigerian education system being a seasoned recruiter. So stay glued, and we'll be back after this very short break with our amazing guest. And we are back. Joining us is our very own most beautiful Chika Godfrey. a passionate human resources generalist and certified HR business partner with expertise in driving business, who also believes in creating thriving work ecosystem where businesses and individuals reach their full potential. Welcome once again, Chika. I'm super delighted to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you, and I'm excited to be here too.
Awesome. I couldn't help but notice how you looked really worrisome when we mentioned that 70% unemployable statistics about the Nigerian graduate today. Before this show started, I ran a survey on the major complaint about Nigerian education system. And some of my findings were overcrowding in classrooms, funding and curriculum, schools lacking laboratories to actually practice what they are taught, and, you know, lack of internet in rural areas. So what does this mean for you as a mother? What does it also mean for you as a recruiter, seeing the quality of staff, graduates you've had to employ? Do you think this has actually had an impact in, you know, the quality of graduates the Nigerian education system is churning out? If you have a relatable story, please feel free to share with us.
Funny you ask, because even I myself didn't school in Nigeria, because I have had a little bit of experience personally regarding the Nigerian education system. Over the years, I've seen people come out of school and you hear them talking, you're wondering, did this person actually go to school? How are they able to write their exams? How are they able to, you know, I know teachers give assessments and I'm like, okay, how are you able to answer the questions if you can't even express yourself on simple things, right? I have children, quite all right, and I fear for them because I don't see them going to schools, especially university in Nigeria, because our Nigerian system, especially the education system, is built in such a way that people go to school not because they want to receive knowledge, but just because they want to have the certificate, or because they want to mark their attendance that, oh yeah, I'm a graduate, oh yeah, I went to school, right? Not because they are looking forward to the impact the school is going to be bring to them. You know, so there's a saying that say people you went through school, but the school did not go through you, because schooling has a lot of impact in people's life, both academically, socially, and economically, right? If you really went through school and for the right reasons, there's a lot that you have to learn from it. There's a lot that when you come out of it, you can tell that you have gone through something. But our education system right now, nothing is working. It is built in such a way that a lot of times people just go to school just because they want to receive knowledge. Hear people saying, oh, they have to bribe their way through school. People stay in their comfort in their homes and they hear them say, oh, I graduated. We're like, but I've been seeing you in the house. When did you go to school? How did you graduate? And you're wondering, like, what's happening? So the corruption in our political system has also affected our academic system, because a lot of people are now paying their ways through school. People buy certificates. People buy certificates. It happens every time. And it's so worrisome that as a recruiter, when I interview people, I get to interview a minimum of 50 people in a month. And when you talk to different people, you hear them talk, you ask questions like, okay, tell me about your 5-year plan. And the feedback you hear or the response you get from them is always alarming. And you hear things like, oh, I don't really have any plan now. I'm just going with the flow to see how things happen. And I'm like, oh, really? So you're coming to work in an organization that you don't have any plans to make an impact or to impact you. So why are you looking for work? And that shows that people just looking for how to make ends meet. Not because they want to impact knowledge or they want to make a difference. As long as they have food on their table, they are okay. And that is how our education system has built our current graduates, and it's really worrisome. And I fear that if we don't make any difference now, or if we don't change the structure, the 70% you just mentioned is going to go to 150 or 200%, because the world is changing, right? We are going into a digital age, but our education system is not going along with it. A lot of people put their children through private schools because the private school have taken that step further to see that they go with the trend. But our public school has nothing to write home about. right? And these are the people who are supposed to have everything it takes, because they are supposed to be government funded. The private people fund their own schools privately. They can only do it to a bare minimum they can do, but the government have all the funds and they can impact in this school. That's everything a child needs to develop in the school environment should be provided. But that is not what it is at the moment. So it's really, really worrisome that this thing is happening and nothing is being done about it. And if care is not taken, the 70% we have right now is going to go to 100% or 150%. And as a recruiter, I feel that I put out job ads every day. I get CVs, and I'm looking at the CV, and I'm like, there's no corresponding to what I'm expecting. As an employer, you want people who are going to come and add value to your organization, because you have built the organization with your sweat. You don't want people to come and destroy it. So we interview people. We want to see that people we are bringing to the organization are coming to make a difference, are coming to bring in their A game. But it is difficult. We put usually in the recruitment process, filling up a role shouldn't take more than maximum 4 weeks. But right now, we have roles that has been open for more than months. And that's because we've not found the right person. We're getting application quite all right, but none are meeting the minimum criteria we're looking for. And it's so worrisome for a lot of companies now, because people who have gone through the process of developing themselves are looking for opportunity outside. So because our Nigerian system is really ruining our youth, and I hope that the government do something about it, and this change doesn't really affect us in the long run.
I absolutely enjoyed your response. I love that you were, you were quite diverse in your response, and I have a few questions to ask you from that. So before I go into the part of, graduates not even being expressive, I've also experienced that first time. Some people talk and you wonder, are you not supposed to be a graduate? So let's even come to that part where you mentioned something about they already missed it from the onset. So you are a graduate, and even while in school, you were not really focused on your studies. You didn't understand what you went there to do. And because of that, the school system did not pass through you. You just went through school. The school did not pass through you. And I love how detailed your response has been, because it goes to show what effect is having on, on the recruitment process, because most of these people don't really have so much to do. But something really stood out for me in your response. I could see there is a skill gap. Communication. People have awesome CV. I mean, now we have AI. You can put up a perfectly, intriguing and impressive CV to your recruiters. It will go through all the whole process, and you get selected for an interview. And, you mentioned some of them not being able to express themselves. What do you think is actually the problem in terms of skill? Do you think we have a huge skill gap problem with our Nigerian graduates, and thus reflecting in them being unemployable today?
I would say yes, we do. It's only few times I've seen graduates who come out of school and take the further step to, get an extra skill for themselves. I know that after we finish university, you have to go through the 1-year process of NYC and all that. There are people who, while waiting to be posted, have had to go through building themselves, gaining some extra skills, digital skills, building themselves in different areas where they're looking at growing. It's only 1 in 10 persons that has been able to do that. And these are the people that are intentional about their growth. But a lot of times, graduates will come out of school and they're at home waiting, and you ask them, what are your plans? So I'm waiting for NYC. So while you're waiting, what are you doing? So aside from the government being responsible for making sure our education system helps us to become who we're supposed to be. Personally, as an individual, we own the responsibility to also build ourselves, right? We can't wait for the government to give us everything we have. Like you said, AI is available. There are lots of online courses right now that are platforms that are offering free online courses that you can apply yourself and gain that knowledge, so that when you come out, or when you are ready to be in the labor market, when the recruiters see you, they're like, oh, this person took that extra step. And that shows that you are proactive, that shows that you are intentional, and that shows that you will know what you are at and you know what you're looking for. So when we see this in people, So right now, as a recruiter, we don't really look at CV anymore. And like you said, a lot of people have built, there was one wonderful CV I saw. Immediately I saw this, I was like, that's the person we're looking for. And we went ahead to invite the person, and the person came up looking all smart. We started asking the questions, and the responses we were getting was quite really alarming. I was frustrated because I thought I had the one, but I just realized that truly AI has really, it's supposed to make things easier. But because of, sorry to borrow our ex-president's language, the youth are lazy. They don't want to go the extra mile. AI is there to help you, but want to do all the work for you. It is called artificial intelligence to assist you. But if you don't have the intelligence on your own, artificial one will not work for you. It can only help you to an extent. You brought a CV saying you have this skill, this skill, this skill. Fantastic. Defend the skill you say you have in your CV. It can't do that. And that shows that CV was doctored. So if you're already putting lies on your CV, you're making the employer see you as someone who is not reliable. I want to have people who are going to work in my company who I can trust, who can help me deliver on my value proposition. If I can't trust you to do that for me, I don't think I have any reason to want to bring it to my company. Because I'm paying you for a service. Okay, let's use the normal artisans, for example. You have people like plumbers, and most of these people are done through referrals. If a plumber comes to work for you, I need a good job for you, and I'm looking for a plumber, and I reach out to you and say, Mo, do you have any plumber? I have this. Oh yeah, I remember one guy that came. That is how they did. That's how it works. The same thing is also applicable to the professional world. If you are reliable, if you are trustworthy, you get referred, you get referred. All my years of work, and I've been working for over 8 years now, every of the companies I've worked with are referrals. I have never had to, not to brag about it, but I've never had to apply for a job and wait to hear from them. No, but every job I've worked for, I worked there based on referrals, and the reason is because I see myself as someone who wants to make an impact. For every organization I go to, I want to see that there's a change. I want to impact people's life, right? Like I said, if you look at my profile, HR is not just a profession for me. I see it as a calling because I believe that in my own little way, I can make a difference. So we have the responsibility on our own to make the difference for ourselves. If the government will do it for us, we have to take ownership of that and do it ourselves. So if the education system is not working, you look for things that work for you. Right now, we have a lot of billionaires that we can name names that didn't go to the four walls of schools, but are making money for themselves. Why? Because they know what they want to do and they are pursuing it. And I think that is what I will advise to the youth today. Don't wait for things to be handed out to you. You have to go out there to get it. It won't come to you. You have to push for it. The education system is not working, then you make it work. Right? You look for ways to build yourself so that when employers see you, they bring you in and give you the job. It's not difficult. People always say it's difficult to find jobs these days, but I don't think it is. It's because you are not prepared for what is to come. For you to see an opportunity, you have to prepare yourself before the opportunity comes. If you're not prepared, the opportunity will come. You won't even know it's an opportunity and it'll pass you by. But when you're prepared, when the opportunity comes, it's easier for you to see it and grab it because you're already prepared. So our Nigerian youths, aside from the education system failing us, need to be able to prepare themselves for the labor market, right? Because that is where you want to be.
I am enjoying this conversation, and I love the fact that I'm not going to spare the government, right? We are going to come back to them. But I like that we are owning up to our own shortcomings. For someone like me who is a student and started my career at a very early age, in as much as I like to say that, yes, our educational system is quite failing, and the university deals with the theoretical aspects. Well, come to think of it, I have a question for you. What do you think Nigerian graduates are actually lacking that makes them unemployable? But before you answer that question, you would agree with me that in the universities, you do group projects.
Yeah.
When you work on group projects, you present your projects. That is communication skill.
Yeah.
When you work on group projects, you think with your group members, even though most of them just end up paying money and just say, "Oh, do it."
Exactly.
That is supposed to be critical thinking.
Yeah.
You are given a topic, you're expected to perform research. That is a skill on its own.
Yeah.
In all of this, you are supposed to work hand in hand with even the most difficult person on your group. that is personal development.
Exactly.
These are skills, I think, even though the education system will not spell it out that you need this skill in the labor market, they are there on the table. But like you said, the onus lies on graduates, to want to be better for themselves and also be employable. So as a seasoned HR with your over 8 years of experience in the industry, what would you say are the skills that, Nigerian graduates are lacking that makes them unemployable?
Okay, thank you very much. One of the things I see that they are lacking is they believe that because they have a certificate, it's enough for them. And like you said, the education system, if you truly pass through it, are supposed to build you up not only academically, but also psychologically, sociologically, how to communicate to people, how to meet people, really, both interpersonal skills as well. But because they don't understand what the school system is all about. Like I said, they only go to school just because they want to have a certificate. And they try somehow to get certificate and feel like that is okay for them. They don't realize that even, for example, you want to become an accountant, for example. Right now, we are in a digital environment where everything is digitalized right now. It's not just only having an accounting certificate. It doesn't just work for you. You have to know how to do data analysis. You have to be a data scientist. So you need to know how to work with data. If you don't build yourself, you don't build yourself and you feel, okay, because I've read accounting in school, that should be enough for me. No. You need to know how to work with data to be able to be the best accountant you can be. Every organization right now looking for people who want to take that initiative to go the extra mile. Because we know that when you come to the real world, like you said, our school system teaches theoretical things. And it's difficult to see any university that, allowed you to practicalize most of the things that you're supposed to do in the organizations. So, but that extra mile that you have to go is learning how to build these skills. Sometimes, even without looking at the pay, you do voluntary work. Volunteer for some places that you can learn those skills hands-on. Because what you learn in school, I can tell you for sure, I'm a first-class graduate of HR. I can tell you that what I learned in school is totally different from what I am experiencing. And I had to go to different HR trainings. I had to go to different workshops to learn how it is being done in the real world for me to be able to fit in and make the difference I aim to get, right? So what I feel that graduates are lacking is the fact that they don't want to go that extra mile. You have gotten the certificates, quite all right. That's not all it is. If you look at most of the JDs that is being created now, there's definitely some tech skills needed. Because everything is going digital. So you need to see, okay, where do I fit in? How do I make myself stand out?
You need to identify your skill
Thank you. Before any person, because once they come to an organization, the HR does that and they prefer trainings for you, but you on your own. If you know what you are looking for, if you know what you want to achieve, you do that skill back analysis of your own self and say, okay, what skill do I need that will make me the best accountant that I can be? Once you're able to identify that, then you look for training that can help you to build on that skills. As an HR person, my HR certificate didn't give me all I needed. I needed to go and do HR analytics to be able to know how to use numbers, because we need to use data to make decisions. Right? If I don't have those skills, I won't be able to do that. I have to do project management, because most of the time we build projects. How we come up with policies, how we come up with different things that will benefit the employees. They are all project-based. I have to learn that. So you look for different skills that are related to yours that can make you stand out. So even when you put in those things in your CV, we see them, we're like, oh yeah, this person has an additional thing that can be beneficial to me. And when you come to the interview, you can come confidently to even negotiate your salary. So even if they tell you that, oh, the budget for this pay is 200, because you know what you are worth, you can tell them, oh, thank you for this. But I believe that from my own experience, or from what the market is saying, and based on how I've been able to build myself, this is what I feel is best for me. Awesome. When they hear that, there's no HR person that will not hear you speak this way I will know that this person knows what he or she is doing.
Yes, and that's because you're so confident in what you're bringing to the table.
Exactly.
I love the way our conversation has, taken place and all of that. So to round up, I would like to ask that, since we've come to terms with the fact that 70%, if not more, of our graduates are unemployable, and we understand that with what is happening, it's not looking any better. So how do you think, in very few words, how do you think the education system can better prepare students for the job market?
Okay, one of the things I feel that the education system can do is creating a structured system that forces people to want to learn. Because really, people don't want to learn. They just want things and handed about to them. So if you create a structure that forces people to learn, there's a lot of corruption happening. So people pay their way out. If that is totally wiped out, people will be forced to want to learn. And again, we need to introduce what we call psychology into the education system, whereby you're not just teaching people theoretical things, right? But you're also training them to become who they want to be in the future. Like I said, we have the primary, the secondary, university. So each stage of our education is to build the graduates on different levels. So every level needs to be able to achieve its objective for the person to come out to become who he or she wants to be. If that is not achieved, you have missed it completely. So for every stage, let every stage of our education system, the nursery school, be tailored in a way to prepare the child to know how to speak, how to write. The primary school teaches you how to use those things you have learned, how to start making use of it. The secondary school prepares you for the career you want to go into. So if this is not put in place, then we'll keep having graduates who come out and
everything
become
should follow a sequential order. I love the way you put it. It's a very straightforward answer, yet very deep, because the foundation starts from the primary, you proceed to the secondary, and then you get to the university, and then you are well groomed. You're a better person from primary school to secondary school. At secondary school, you have an idea what your career would want to look like. That also informs the kind of extracurricular activities you engage in the university. So I love your, perspectives. I love your very detailed answer. I totally enjoy having this conversation with you,
Thank
Chika.
you very much.
Parents, students, share your stories with us in the comment section. We want to hear from you. We want to hear stories like what Chika has shared. We want to hear what you think, and if you also have suggestions for us on how we can better the education system, we would really love that. Thank you so much for joining us once again, Chika. We appreciate your time. And next, we'll be watching some videos of Nigerians talking about this issue. From these videos, we can see that a major solution to all of this is skill acquisition. I mean, Ugo, the guy that spoke about the need to acquire digital skills, I think I agree with him on 100, right?
Yes.
The real solution to these things now is that, yes, you might be a first-class graduate, a 2-1 graduate, beautiful, awesome, that's a stepping stone, but what skills do you have? Do you have employable skills? Are your skills transferable? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's very important. You look into the labor market and look at skills that are in demand. Yeah, you know, some people who are first-class graduates or 2-1 graduates, they think because you're first class, I should just employ you to the office or to the organization to just come and photocopy documents and anybody can do that, you know. So you look into the labor market, you look at what's in demand, and then you get to learn those things so that you can get employed easily.
Awesome. Yeah. So our ex-president, the late President Muhammadu Buhari, he said something very funny in his video. It's like, I mean, yes, you might come out with a good degree from a good university, but, you know, there are no jobs. You know, that's practically the reality of today's world. But then, even in the, you know, the whole thing of unemployment rates, our guest mentioned something earlier. She said Nigerian graduates also need to be prepared for what is to come, which still boils down to skill acquisition. So if you are going into data analysis, if you are going into accountancy, finance, what is your industry requiring of you? What do you need? You know, how can you upskill, identify skill gaps? So basically, I think I understand that even though Nigeria's education system have its own challenges, the onus lies on our graduates. Or what do you think? I mean, the onus lies on them to be employable.
I think so. I also think it's not really like an employment, like a lack of jobs speed. Yeah. I think it's skill sets. There's like a deficiency in skill sets, because I know of some people who are doing 2, 3, 4 jobs at the same time. Meaning, probably the company did not see like someone else to employ. That's why they had to employ you. For example, let me use for example, you are working for like 4 companies. It's like you're taking the place of 3 other Nigerian graduates who are not really doing anything at that time. So I think if they can work on their skills here and then put themselves out there, you know, use various platforms to sell their, should I say, sell their markets.
Awesome. So I believe in that too. And then I'm like, we need to see, you know, identifying skill gap and owning our skills as a stepping stones for graduates to becoming employable. Okay,
so it's clear we can change the system. I mean, there are several schools with great teachers and even greater education systems. So parents, students, schools, and even the government all need to work together. And like you said earlier, it begins with you. You have to start with yourself. You know, someone said something. If everybody sweeps the front of their house here, the whole world will be a clean place. Let me use Nigerian English. If everybody clean their domots, everywhere go clean. So if everybody do what they have to do, I think I'm not saying it will completely be wiped out here, like, oh, everybody will have a job, but at least the 70% rate you talked about earlier, or the 40%, I think it will reduce drastically. So that's what I thought.
And the interesting thing is that even when you are very smart and employable as a graduate, these companies can even create a role for you out of what they are looking for. Maybe they wanted to employ you for something else, and they're like, oh my God, this person has, you know, a great skill, you know, this person is quite talented at this. They can literally create a new job role for you. So it's better for you to be really good at what you do as a Nigerian graduate other than being unemployable. There's a whole lot to talk about this, but, you know, parents and students, we have a whole lot to talk about on this topic, and it's been an exciting and interesting one so far. We are open to seeing your comments, and then would advise that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on interesting episodes like this. Share this episode with your friends, with your colleagues, with your family, and join us next week as we discuss the power of local languages in learning. Until then, my name is SuperMo, and I'm your host. Bye for now.